Hi, I'm Sabrina from San Diego Doula Company. This is Emily, my partner at San Diego Doula Company, and we're here with Rochelle from Men Having Babies, and we're really excited to get to talk to her about what exactly her company does and what inspired her to get to work with this amazing agency. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. And so all three of us are proven surrogates, so we all have reasons for jumping into our fields and wanting to work more with surrogates and more with intended parents. So you want to tell us a little bit about what got you into Men Having Babies and why you feel like this is an important endeavor?
Sure. I was invited to speak with Men Having Babies in 2013, right after I had had my first surrogate baby. They asked me to come and speak on their panel as a surrogate to the intended parents who attend their conferences. So Men Having Babies has 6 conferences a year, and we educate intended fathers on how the whole process of surrogacy works and give them the resources to make the decisions that they need to make, such as who to use as an attorney, who to use as a clinic, who to use as a agency, if they want to do it on their own, or if they do need a little bit of extra help. And then we take it a step further and we have our GPAT program. Our GPAT program is our Gay Assistance Program, Gay Parenting Assistance Program. And that allows intended parents to apply for assistance. And we've partnered with clinics and agencies who have offered discounts or pro bono services. So we help them through the whole process because our ultimate goal is to educate and help them have a baby.
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, okay, when you're coaching them, do you give them advice on how to select a surrogate?
We do. We give them advice on what to look for. Has she been a surrogate before? Does it matter to you if she's been a surrogate before? Is she working with an agency, or are you finding her on your own? Are you okay finding her on your own? What kind of relationship do you want with her? We really focus a lot on relationship because we want to make sure that this is a good experience for the entire party. We don't want intended parents feeling left out. We don't want surrogates feeling left out. And we want to make sure that intended parents know how to treat their surrogate. And sometimes it feels like common sense, treat her like a human being, but they don't always understand that she is still a human being and she's doing something out of the kindness of her heart, but she still has her family, she still has her children, she still has a rather large interruption in her life, even if she's a stay-at-home mom or if she's a working mom. Okay. So we educate on all of that.
So is there anything in particular that you would tell the IPs that they should be doing for their surrogate to make this whole transition easier for her and her family?
We do. We touch a little bit on that. We haven't dived in too much on that just because so many new things are coming up, and we try to educate on such a wide variety of things during our conference, and it's really not a whole lot of time that we get with these intended parents. But when we do talk about it, we tell them, make sure that you spend time with your surrogate during the pregnancy. It's okay to go visit her and her family and interact with her spouse and her children, and then trying to educate them on what to do after birth. That, it's okay to check up on your surrogate, and it's okay to make sure she's okay, and even if there's been some type of traumatic situation, follow up with her, make sure she's okay, and make sure that she's taken care of.
Great.
Do you help them find classes on how to take care of their babies?
Well,
or do they usually, do that on their own? I mean, everybody reads books, but
well, usually they do it on their own because we haven't had enough networking with companies that do it. We don't have anybody to refer them to. A lot of times we suggest that they read a series of books, they ask their surrogate specifically if they have any suggestions, and then to always go back to the agency. And some agencies are really good at it, and some agencies aren't good at it. And we educate them on that. If you want more hand-holding, maybe this agency is better for you. If you think you've got it all under control, maybe this other agency is better for you.
Yeah.
We absolutely don't persuade them either way. We just educate them on, these are your options. You now pick and choose what is best for your family.
Right. And what about when it comes to failed transfers? I know we were just talking about that a moment ago, but do you inform them on that? Do you let them know how often it happens and that it's nothing that the surrogate probably did, and it, and how do you?
Yes, we absolutely do. I'm pretty sure that every single person from Men Having Babies that speaks during our conferences says somewhere in their part that it's okay if there's a failed transfer.
Because I know I've had a failed transfer.
We've all had
failed transfers.
Yep.
Yes.
But
You're a surrogate long enough, it's going to happen.
Yes.
Exactly. But from the failed transfer, in my situation, I've had one failed transfer and 3 beautiful boys. So
Right.
it's nothing wrong with me. It's nothing wrong with the process. It just happens, and it happens for a reason. And we always tell them to parents, it happens for a reason.
Right.
And we know that it's devastating, but it is just as devastating for your surrogate too. It's not just devastating for you. So we always tell them, it might not work the first time. It might not work the second time, but keep trying, and it'll be okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I had to just process it, and I processed it pretty well. But I did have a lot more empathy for the intended parents. I think I was taking on probably what they were feeling a lot more than really how I was feeling, because it's really, devastating that they have to find that out. So, well, that we have our doula agency, and we do a lot of birth and postpartum care. Now, would you refer your intended parents to maybe hire somebody for postpartum care if they were going to be in town and they didn't know the ins and outs? Is that some way to direct them, or?
Oh, absolutely. Me personally, anytime I talk to an intended parent or parents, I'm always suggesting what they can do to help themselves and to help their surrogate.
Yeah.
Because not everybody knows what a doula is.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows what a doula does. Not everybody knows that you can have a birth doula and a postpartum doula, and they do completely different things.
Yeah.
But educating intended parents on what's necessary, because it might not be necessary for them to have a postpartum doula, but it will be necessary for their surrogate, for her to heal and be able to get back to her everyday life. Because once she goes home from the hospital, usually, she goes right back into her everyday, and it's like nothing happened.
She doesn't take care of herself.
Exactly.
Or she doesn't get to take care of herself.
She doesn't
There's
get to
family,
take care of
there's
herself.
family, there's kids, there's husband.
Right,
and
we're
you
all
kinda-
moms.
Yep.
It's a requirement.
You just jump right back into it, and
Yeah.
you don't realize that, okay, I really have to slow down, and you don't really, you don't get that chance to.
Yeah.
Right.
I had to slow down because I ended up with a C-section the second time around, so I physically had to, but it was definitely, it was 1 week, and I'm like out of bed, I'm like, okay, I can't do the vacuum, but I can dust, and I can stand on my feet and cook meals, and it was to the point where, like, you were saying, you just you're depleted.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely
We get depleted, and
depleted.
it's nothing against the intended parents, but they don't understand. They don't know what we go through, and we need to be taken care of. And most intended parents are so generous and so willing to
Absolutely.
purchase anything for their surrogate if it will help them heal, if it will help them during pregnancy, if it will help them during labor. It's just educating them on what's available and
Well,
why
when you
it's
make
important.
it less traumatic too. If you
Exactly.
can make it less traumatic
Yes.
for everybody,
Yes.
then it's a win-win situation.
Yes, so often we hear stories of one intended father being super involved and super excited, and then the other one's scared.
Right.
And it's normal. And a surrogate takes on so much just by being the surrogate. It's sometimes hard for her to take care of everybody, but it's in our nature to take care of everybody. But sometimes we need to be taken care of. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with our viewers what it is you do, and for actually going out into the world and bringing this education to people, because I know I delivered for a same gender couple, and they had no idea what was going on, and they felt pretty well educated up until getting me pregnant, and then suddenly there was this baby, and that was a whole new ball game that they kind of I don't think actually expected to happen, because it was such a challenge to get there.
Yeah.
And so it's fantastic that you're preparing them for this process, because just knowing what you're going into makes it a lot less scary.
Yeah.
And we love Men Having Babies. We're so excited that you came in today, and thank you.
Of course.
Thank you very much. Bye.